come out and say, gosh, I really want to swim the metric mile?
This is definitely one that you have to be born to do. I mean, you can develop it every other stroke, every other distance, but boy, being a 1500 guy is just tough.
As we take a look at the lane assignments, Daniel O'Connor out of Mission Viejo, the Natadores, the nearby swim club here in Orange County. He will be in lane number 1. In lane number 2, Arthur Frailer, the 20-year-old from Ambler, Pennsylvania. Lane number 3 is 21-year-old Sean Ryan out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, swimming for Club Wolverine. And lane number 4, it'll be Connor Yeager, 23 years of age, originally from Fairhaven, New Jersey, also a Club Wolverine swimmer under the guidance of Mike Bottom. Michael McBroom is in lane number 5, the Woodland swim team. Lane number 6, Zane Groth out of Boulder City, Nevada, Club Seminole. Lane 7, Jordan Wilimowski, Team Santa Monica out of Malibu, California, just about an hour and a half up to 4:05. And Ryan Feely rounding out the field of 8, Badger Swim Club, 22 years of age, originally from Rye, New York, under the coaching of John Collins.
Well, if anybody has a chance to break this long-standing American record, now going on 10 years, it will be Connor Yeager, I think. Michael McBroom broke the American record last summer in the 800, so you know he's going to be a big factor. He's right above Yeager in lane number 5. Yeager's not a big guy, but this is another great example for those young swimmers out there. You don't have to be a big giant to have a nice long distance per stroke. Those are 3 real important words. Real important to keep that stroke nice and long. The key is going to be about a third of the way through it, about 500 meters. If you start to see Yeager start to make that move, it could be a chance to see an American record. Certainly you're going to have some guys start to go under 15 minutes. Top time in the world this year is 14:44.03. Ryan Cochran from Canada.
Well, you talked about the physique of the athletes here in this metric mile men's 1500 meter. Is there an ideal physique? I mean, obviously, everyone wants to be built like Rowdy Gaines, about 6'2", perfectly lean, low body fat.
Not really. I mean, if you look at the last time an American won an Olympic gold medal, it was Mike O'Brien, who's sort of built like a Grant Hackett, who's like 6'5", 6'6", real tall and lean. But look, that you take back to 1976, Brian Goodell, who, by the way, was the last American to have a world record in this event. He was 5'6", 5'7", not a big guy, bulky, and so body types are really misleading in many ways, Todd. It's not necessarily the case for all of swimming. Does it help to be shaped like Nathan Adrian in 100 freestyle? Oh yeah, no doubt about it. It helps. But it's not a necessity.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Speaking about physiques, and we go back to the race we saw earlier tonight in the men's 100 meter, Michael Phelps and the transformation that he has made on his body, impressive.
Oh, it is, and he's certainly gotten leaner and more cut, I think. I think the big thing for him, he's just got to figure out the 100 freestyle. It's a tough event to figure out. He's never really had that as part of his repertoire, meaning, yes, he did swim the free relay, and yes, he did swim it, but he wasn't training for it. There's a big difference between just popping up there and swimming on a relay where you can do some amazing things with that adrenaline flowing, but when you swim it day in and day out and you're training for it, it takes a long time to learn how to swim that race. I didn't figure out how to swim. That was the event that I won in '84. Right. It took me forever to figure out how to swim. I don't think I ever figured out how to swim a perfect 100.
We're watching the men's 1500 meter free here from the Water Aquatics Center, Irvine, California. Jordan Wilimowski in lane 7 is your early leader. As we mentioned, the American record, Larson Jensen, 14:45.29, nearly 10 years ago, and that was the Athens Games back in '04.
See, Dave Wilimowski, I was talking to his coach, Dave Kelsheimer, a little while ago on the warm-up pool, and he said that Jordan had already made the team in the Pan Packs in the open water, so he's kind of just swimming through this meet, just looking to have fun here in this 1500. And I think he's going to put together a pretty good 1500.
Pretty good strategy, I think, here by Jordan Wilimowski.
006 there. has that dark cap. McBroom has the white cap right above him. Then you see Wilimowski toward the top of your screen, also with a white cap. Jaeger, as he goes into these walls, he's so good on the turns. He's nice and tight as he goes into and out of each wall. Now he breathes to his right, as does McBroom, so that you see Jaeger, he can see McBroom and possibly Wilimowski up there above in lane number 7. Still very early on in this race, only 400 meters. We've got a long way to go, a little over a quarter of the way through this race, and you can just start to sense that Jaeger thinks, okay, I'm going to start making my move right about here, because he went virtually dead even with everybody. Now a little about a quarter body length ahead, now half body length ahead.
Lanes 4 and 5, Connor Jaeger, Michael McBroom, 4th and 5th at the Worlds last year. Jaeger just 23 years of age, as is McBroom.
Yeah, he went from 006 to 59.5, but you know what? So did McBroom. Not very fast going out. I don't think you're going to see any American records broken tonight. 29.06. They're going to have to really start picking up the pace. The American record, by the way, was 4:20 at this point. No, excuse me, that was a world record. 4:20 at the 350. The American record pace was 3:56. Flat at the 400 coming up. They're going to fall off the 3:56 flat. They're about 3 seconds off of that.
So the 500-meter mark has been reached, 1/3 of the way through the metric mile. Men's 1,500-meter free from Irvine, California. And we got a nice little race going on right now in lanes 4 and 5. Connor Jaeger in lane 4 and Michael McBroom in lane 5.
This is the longest drought for USA Swimming as far as winning an Olympic gold medal. It's actually tied with the 400 freestyle on the men's side. And we go way back to 1984 at the LA Olympics, actually 30 years ago last week, when Michael O'Brien won the gold in the 1500. George DiCarlo won the 400 freestyle gold. Last time an American medaled in this event was back in 2004, Lars and Jensen. And he won the silver.
Still 900 meters to go in the men's metric mile, 1,500 meters. We'll be back to Irvine, California for the conclusion. You're watching the Phillips 66 National Championships.
And McBroom outscored there by 15/100ths. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up across the 1,500. Both guys using their legs quite a bit out front. Looks like maybe Jaeger's getting a little bit more distance with the stroke. McBroom a little higher tempo, and McBroom outswitching again by 6/100ths on that 50. Watch the strategy here on Jaeger. He's slightly in the lead. Here's his moving away.
Shape here as they come running into the 800-meter mark. Both these guys have done a ton of training. Looking at the underwater camera, you could actually see on that last shot, Connor Jaeger peeking under his armpit to see where Michael McBroom is. So there's a whole international race. These guys are keeping each other out, trying to figure out where they are pacing, where they fit into their own effort and intensity. It's a real challenge across 1,500 to find a way to monitor what you're doing, but yet stay within your strategy to also race the guy next to you. Yeager working hard there. Both guys at 29.7. Yeager outsplit McBroom by 5/100ths. And notice that Wilimowski's sitting over there in lane 7, splitting similar 50s compared to the 2 leaders. Wilimowski looks to be in good position here. Could he sneak up on these guys? They might be watching each other, and Wilimowski has definitely changed his tempo here. McBroom, 29.9. Yeager, 29.7. Wilimowski, 29.8.
Back in Irvine, California, less than 600 meters to go here in the men's 1,500 meter free. And right now we've got ourselves a great race. Connor Yeager in lane number 4 and Michael McBroom just off to his left. And also lane number 7, Jordan Wilimowski. An impressive swim by him in the top of your screen in the white cap, currently sitting in 3rd place.
Yeager now beginning to force the pace just a bit. It doesn't translate to
So Connor Yeager on the black cap in the middle of your screen. Just to his right is Michael McBroom with the white cap. And Michael McBroom, Rowdy, has been doing a fantastic job of just staying right on the hip of Connor Yeager. Now, the question is he getting any kind of push or any kind of draft off of Connor Yeager?
Right. I think if he backs up just a touch right now, he's virtually even with Yeager. Even though you see Yeager just inch out just a little bit ahead of him, if McBroom just kind of moves back just a touch, he can start to ride his hip a little bit. But you've got to be very careful because you start to fall too far behind Yeager and you're going to be in big trouble. But McBroom is very impressive. You start thinking about these splits of Yeager and McBroom for that matter, they're right there, 59.1, 59.3, 59.6, 59.6. They've all been very consistent at 59 low, 59 mid. So this is exactly where they need to be able to put a good time out there. Remember, 14.44 is the top time in the world. They're not going to go that. But when you start to move down a little bit, 14.54 is the 4th fastest time in the world this year, and they certainly have a chance to do that.
Connor Yeager, your leader on the left side of your screen. On the right is Michael McBroom. And in 3rd place, Jordan Wilimowski. And we saw earlier, actually, during the commercial break, Connor Yeager actually moving in his lane to the left to keep Michael McBroom from getting any kind of push. With 400 meters to go.
That's a good point, Todd. Yeager's actually moved over a little bit. But the key thing is just to swim down right the middle of the pool. That was another 59.8 right there. So they keep falling off the pace just a little bit. Again, this is a case where you had a feeling that both these guys were going to make the team. And when you start to get into training, this is a strange race to train for because they've got the 400 free ahead of them, the 800 freestyle, which, by the way, McBroom has the American record in. Had a great World Championships last summer. Talking about McBroom right there with a white cap. He was a silver medalist in the 800 freestyle. He's also 5th in the 1500.
So Connor Yeager stretching out by another foot. They were almost dead even on that last turn. And Connor Yeager now starting to put the pressure on just a little bit.
Yeager's best time is 6 seconds faster than McBroom. And this is where McBroom really starting to fall off the pace. I think he'll be much better in the little bit shorter races, the 400, 800. 59.2, so now he's starting to feel it. I'm talking about Connor Yeager with a dark cap right there in the middle of the pool out in front. Starting to feel his oats a little bit.
And just on the left side, the top of your screen, you can see the splash of Jordan Wilimowski, who has come into it, the 20-year-old from Team Santa Monica, starting to pressure.
This is a great swim for this youngster. Only 20 years of age, really swimming well.
29.5 and split by
He's got a
Yeager.
chance to catch McBroom, but regardless, remember they take the top 3, most likely take the top 3 to Pan Pacs, one of the very few international meets where the Americans will take the top 3 swimmers. Normally it's the top 2. World Championships and Olympics are an example. So to have all 3 swimmers represented here would be a great move, and Jordan is doing really well coming up on McBroom.
Connor Yeager makes the turn. In first place, Michael McBroom is now in second, and Jordan Wilimowski in third with 200 meters to go.
Boy, it wasn't too long ago when these guys were dead even, right? I mean, it wasn't like 200 or 300 meters ago. They were just right there neck and neck, and you just didn't know whose race it could be. And now it looks like Yeager's making it look easy.
The question I've got for you, is this by design? Is this something that Connor Yeager's done, or is Michael McBroom just gone out a little too fast maybe on that first 700 meters.
I think it's a little combination of both. I really do. I think when you're talking about Jaeger and his ability to have that early speed and the ability to come back on the second half of the race just proved too much for McBroom, who really is a great front half swimmer, and he proved a great back half swimmer in the 800 last summer when he broke that American record. So he's got that capability, but I think that 1500 is just a little bit too long, at least here in Irvine. Could be a big difference when we get to the Gold Coast in a couple weeks.
There's the bell. Connor Jaeger, the first one to make the turn, and now the battle for second place. Michael McBroom's got his hands full with Jordan Wilimowski in lane number 7, and Wilimowski has gradually been picking up inch by inch over the last 400 meters, and he's pulled into a very tight race.
And there's his coach right there walking the deck with him. That's Dave Kelsheimer, who's walking that deck and making sure that Jordan sees him to get home.
Connor Jaeger pulling away from everyone now in the battle for second place. Michael McBroom, lane number 5. Jordan Wilimowski, lane number 7.
Will he break 1450 is a question. He's going to be very close.
5 meters to go. And at the wall, it is Connor Jaeger stopping the clock at 14:51.06, the 4th fastest time in the world this year. So Jaeger gets the win, and Michael McBroom able to hold off Jordan Wilimowski, who grabs 3rd.
The time by Connor Jaeger of 14.
I'll tell you, the push by Connor Jaeger over the last 400 meters was very impressive.
And it was that negative split. He was 7:27 going out the first 750, 7:23 coming home. So he negative split that race, meaning he came back faster in the second half by 4 seconds, which will give him a lot of confidence, Todd. I think it really will give him a lot of confidence as we head to Australia. This is where he starts to pull ahead right there toward the end of the race. So with about 400 or 500 meters left to go, he just started turning on the jets, and he went right by McBroom. And it was sort of like every stroke he took, Todd, he just inched ahead further and further. And this final turn, it was all Jaeger, but all of a sudden you got a great race for second between these two guys. They can see each other coming to this 50 right here, and then coming home, they breathe to the opposite side. Actually, McBroom breathes to his right, so he could see Jordan up there toward the top of the screen. Only 17/100ths of a second separates those guys because McBroom really fell off the last stroke or two, and look at Jordan coming to that wall. Almost gets him for second.
14:56 for McBroom at 14:56.34 for Wilimowski. So a very tight battle for second and third, but your winner, Connor Jaeger, 14:51.06 in the men's 1500 meter free. As we take a look at the final results in the metric mile, it is Connor Jaeger with the win. Michael McBroom, Jordan Wilimowski, Sean Ryan in 4th, Ryan Feely, Arthur Frailer, Daniel O'Connor, and Zane Groth rounding out the 8th. Connor Jaeger, busy man, very tired, now standing by with our Carolyn Mano.
Connor, congratulations to you. You trained so hard for so long for an event like this. How satisfying is it to go head-to-head with somebody like you did with Michael McBroom for at least the first 1,200 meters or so?
You know, the 1500 is one of those events where you don't really even get to come close to your best time until the end of the season. So you kind of train and train and train, and you think about having a good race like we just did there.
What was the strategy for you over those first few 100 meters? Seemed very consistent for you.
Yeah, just really try to do nothing. Like forgetting Sarah Marshall and the guy's trying to surf, he's like, you're doing too much, do less. That's what the coach tells us to do the first 300 of the 1500, just don't even try at all.
And then with about 400 or 500 to go, you were able to switch it into that next gear. What factors go into making that decision of when to turn it on?
Just staying in the race, you know, really being involved with noticing where everyone is, and just trying to evaluate how much you have left.
This is an important meet for Pan Pacs coming up. You've qualified for that. How important is that to you?
It's really important. You know, now that I've graduated from the University of Michigan and started my pro career, you know, you have to make the team. So I'm happy I was able to do that tonight.
And what are you working on to improve when you get there?
Maybe some more speed. Maybe my coach will put me in the 100. What do you think?
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
So Connor Yeager gets the win in the men's 1500 meter. We'll be back to Woodland Aquatic Center in Irvine, California with our final thoughts here on Universal Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, award
Ceremony for the men's 1500. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting awards for the 1500 is the City of Irvine Director of Community Services. Please welcome Brian Fisk to the awards area. Finishing in 8th and representing Badger in a time of 15:14:18, Ryan Feely. 7th for Club Wolverine at 15:11:37, Michael Clee. 6th for Mission Viejo, 15:11:35, Janardon Burns. 5th for Nation's Capital, 15:07:82, Andrew Gemmel. 4th for Club Wolverine and the University of Michigan in a time of 15:07:49, Sean Ryan. 3rd, representing Team Santa Monica in 14:56:34, Jordan Wilimowski. 2nd, placing 2nd for the Woodlands in a time of 14:56:17, Michael McBroom. And your 2014 Phillips 66 National Champion in the 1500 free, representing Club Wolverine in Michigan, winning time of 14:51:06, Connor Yeager. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and help me congratulate our top 8 and your champion, Connor Yeager.